So the Grammys were this weekend and they were great to watch. I enjoyed a lot of the performances. I wasn't happy about how some of the awards were given out, but that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is the fashion. So particularly, I want to talk about Billy Porter, Lil Nas X, and some of the discussion that has been going on. So Billy Porter has been lighting up runways with his fearless fashion these past couple of award seasons. He's an actor who is on Pose, but he was already very famous for being in Tony Award-winning plays and being on Broadway, so on and so forth. With Pose, he's broken more into the mainstream, and he's been able to communicate a vision with the masses that normally we haven't seen before. Now, this is actually being met with a lot of backlash. And in particular, I want to talk about the backlash that he's getting from the LGBT community and not so much from the heterosexual community, because we know the heterosexuals, for the most part, in many different cases, are going to be ignorant. Now, I think this is a big discussion for us to have for the LGBT community, because I think this is a time where we should be coming together and making sure that all aspects of ourselves are represented. Now, a lot of people are upset because they feel like his look is a bit too eccentric. And this has happened already before with other celebrities such as Lil Nas X, who was also at the Grammy Awards, and he was in custom Versace, which I thought Lil Nas X looked excellent, and Bobby Lights, who was also at the MTV Awards, and he had his entire ass out, which was supposed to be a tribute to Prince, I guess, and a lot of people didn't take that too favorably either. Now, what I want to address first is this preposterous ideal or this preposterous suggestion or this narrative that there's an attack on the male black image. Anytime someone homosexual expresses themselves freely, they want to chalk it up to being this attack on the black male image, when that clearly and quite frankly is not the case. That is a whole nother video that I could do for another time, but no one is thinking about this greater grand scheme or agenda to attack the black male image. If anything, the black male image is being attacked by all these rappers and this drug dealer influence that is promoted to all these kids who think that the way out of life is just to drop out of school and start making bread and becoming rich quick. That is attacking the black male image of anything. But again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So I don't think that's what's going on here. If you're one of those people that think that, please excuse yourself. If you're a part of the LGBT community and you think that this is doing something to hinder us, then please also excuse yourself, because no matter how they see it, no matter if we are this masculine, or this feminine, we could be Ricky Martin, or we could be Billy Porter. It doesn't matter. They're all going to see us the same as homosexuals, and they're also going to refer to us with the F word. There's no issue with not liking the look. Now, let me say that. But don't bash the celebrity for being themselves and for being unapologetically themselves and for allowing themselves to express themselves on the runway. And some people have been saying this is too much too soon. Again, people from the LGBT community have been saying that this is too much too soon. And I'm just trying to figure out how you fall to that conclusion. Like, how is this? It is 2020. How is this too much too soon? And again, it's a very conservative take. It makes it seem as though we need to hide our sexuality, or we need to fit this heteronormative image in order to be accepted by heterosexual people or the general heterosexual masses. And I don't think that is the case, right? Like, that's just like when Hillary was running for president, there were women saying that it was too much too soon. And it was like, how are you a woman? But like, what does that say about how you feel about your own gender for you to say it's too much too soon? So what are you saying about your fellow LGBT brothers and sisters for you to say it's doing too much too soon? And then there are some people who are saying they're doing it for attention. Excuse me? Again, another thing that heterosexuals have always used time and time again against LGBT people when we want to freely express ourselves, like when it comes to pride events or anything of that nature. It's like, why do you guys have to be so extra? Why are you doing it for attention? Why can't you just, be gay in your own little space and not have to force it upon us? Why do you want to bring, and again, you feel like it's us bringing attention upon ourselves because it's making you uncomfortable. You're not used to seeing it. But I mean, in our own lives, this is just how we are 24/7 for some of us, and some of us it's just something we see when we go out all the time. So it's not that we are doing it for attention or we are doing too much, right? Just because just because it's uncomfortable for you does not mean that we need to inhibit our expression and ourselves. Okay, everybody should just be free to express who we are. Furthermore, I want to also say that male fashion at award shows is mostly boring. Like, let's be honest. Nobody goes to award shows or looks at the fashion from award shows to see what the men are wearing. To be honest, it's quite frankly pretty bland. And I think the Grammys is an excellent time for men to be expressive with their fashions. And I do like that Billy Porter is making statements because he's somebody to look forward to every single time he steps on the red carpet, whether you like it or not. And again, you don't like to like everything he wore. I love the hat that he wore at the Grammys this past weekend, but the rest of the outfit I wasn't too crazy about, but I love that he was willing to take those risks. And I remember he wore the tuxedo with the ball gown underneath. That was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And so he's done some things that I think were very tasteful, some things that weren't my cup of tea, but I still commend him regardless of the case. And I think that is the main thing that we need to be hitting on, is showing support for each other. In addition, we have no issue with female celebrities being eccentric. I mean, look at what some of the women were wearing last night. Like, they looked like supervillains. Just to be quite honest. Lady Gaga, she literally came to an award show in a meat dress, amongst other things. When female celebrities are eccentric, it's seen as okay because we are used to seeing them in these feminine attire, in these feminine clothings. However, when male celebrities do it, it becomes problematic, or it becomes too much, or it becomes a fool because we're not used to seeing them in these types of fashions. And I think that we need to give the same energy to both male and female celebrities, right? If a female comes in an eccentric costume and it looks a mess, call them out on it. But some people will stand their faves. I remember Nicki Minaj went through that time early in her career when she wore nothing but eccentric costumes, and a lot of the barbs were here for it. And those same people are bashing people like Lil Nas and Billy Porter. And I'm kind of like, okay, so is it only okay for a woman to be expressive and think outside of the box, or to come to the red carpet with different fashions? I'm just not understanding that. So at the end of the day, what I want to say is this: you don't have to like the fashions. Not at all. You don't have to like them. But still show respect enough for the fact that people from our community are finally being able to be expressive. They're finally being able to be themselves, be noticed, recognized, praised. And there's no such thing as this being a negative detriment, because at the end of the day, they're going to see us how they see us regardless. And some people might say, oh, well, we shouldn't give them any type of room to see us in a negative way. And to you, I would say that I don't see any of this as negativity. It's not like, you know, Billy Porter is on the runway queening out and doing the most, right? He poses very elegantly. He's very refined. So at the end of the day, it's not like he's behaving out of the way. So you have a problem within yourself. And that's what it is. If you have an issue with any of this, celebrate all members of our community and stand behind them. Even if you don't necessarily agree with what they have on, respect the fact that they're brave enough to wear it.